The Roman Empire. History's most merciless war machine. It crushed every kingdom, every army, every barbarian tribe that stood before it. But in 212 BC, on the shores of Sicily, this unstoppable force collided with an invisible wall. They faced no massive army, no legendary commander. They faced only a 70-year-old man, a mathematician who held no sword, who drew shapes in the sand. Archimedes. Roman general Marcus Claudius Marcellus believed that day he would take the city through brute force, through numerical superiority. His plan was simple: crush and pass. But when Roman soldiers approached the walls, they found not an enemy, but gravity, physics, and lethal engineering. Claws that lifted ships into air, lights that blinded soldiers, stones that came from nowhere. That day, Romans would receive history's bloodiest physics lesson. How did one man alone stop the world's greatest army? Was Rome's skill sharper, or was a genius's mind? Welcome to history's greatest battle of mind versus muscle.
Rome did not negotiate, did not compromise, did not retreat. Rome conquered. That was its nature, its purpose, its destiny. By 212 BC, Roman Republic had devoured Mediterranean like hungry beast, Gaul fallen, Iberia subdued, Carthage bleeding from Punic wars. Every nation that resisted learned same lesson: resistance equals annihilation. Roman legions were not soldiers, were machines, human machines programmed for single function: victory. They marched in perfect formation, fought with identical technique, obeyed without question. No emotion, no mercy, just iron discipline turning enemies into corpses. General Marcus Claudius Marcellus commanded this machine. Age 53, veteran of countless campaigns, 5-time consul, hero of Clastidium, where he personally killed Gallic chieftain in single combat, man who earned spolia opima, Rome's highest military honor. He was legend, living embodiment of Roman martial superiority. Now he stood on deck of command galley, watching Syracuse, beautiful Greek city, pearl of Sicily, wealthy, cultured, defiant. It had sided with Carthage during Second Punic War. Mistake, fatal mistake. "How long to take city?" asked Tribune beside him. Marcellus studied walls, strong, ancient, Greek engineering, but not impossible. 3 days, he said confidently, maybe 4. Syracuse has walls, we have rams. They have gates, we have fire. They have men, we have legions. Mathematics favors Rome. This was Roman thinking: war as equation, victory as inevitable result of superior numbers plus superior discipline. They had 25,000 soldiers, 100 warships, siege equipment, supply lines, experience. Syracuse had maybe 15,000 defenders, isolated, surrounded, doomed. Tribune nodded. Made sense. Always did with Romans. Their logic was unbreakable as their formations. But Marcellus did not know, could not know, that mathematics worked both ways, that numbers on his side would meet different numbers, physics, geometry, leverage, calculations that turned muscle into irrelevance. Inside Syracuse, different preparation occurred. Not drilling soldiers, not sharpening swords, but drawing diagrams, testing mechanisms, calculating angles. Archimedes of Syracuse, age 70, mathematician, engineer, inventor, philosopher, man who discovered pi's approximation, who invented compound pulley, who developed calculus principles 2,000 years before Newton, who shouted "Eureka!" discovering water displacement.
But now he was doing something unprecedented, applying pure mathematics to war, turning abstract theory into concrete destruction, making geometry lethal. "Will your machines work?" asked Hieron, Syracuse's old king, now dead. His grandson Hieronymus ruled, young, inexperienced, frightened. He visited Archimedes' workshop constantly. Archimedes did not look up from diagrams. Mathematics does not fail, only execution fails. If built correctly, machines will function as calculated. But Romans are experienced. Romans are predictable. Archimedes finally looked up, eyes sharp despite age. They fight same way always: formation, discipline, direct assault. They are machine. Machines follow patterns. Patterns can be countered. This was revolutionary thinking, not seeing Romans as invincible, seeing them as a system with exploitable weaknesses. "They will approach walls with siege towers. I have calculated range, height, timing. When towers reach optimal distance, my engines will engage. What if they approach by sea? I have machines for that too. Leverage multiplies force. Small crew can lift massive weight. Their ships become toys in hands of physics." Young King was not convinced. Sounded too theoretical, too abstract. Romans were a concrete threat, real, immediate. How could drawings defeat swords? But Archimedes returned to work. No time for doubt. Romans would arrive soon. Machines must be ready. Every calculation checked, every mechanism tested. War was coming, and war would be scientific. Marcellus's fleet approached Syracuse harbor. Formation perfect, ships in precise rows, spacing calculated for mutual support. This was Roman naval doctrine, proven through decades, undefeated.
On lead ships, special equipment. Sambucae, naval siege towers. Roman innovation. Genius engineering. They lashed galleys together, side by side, creating stable platforms, then erected towers, tall, higher than city walls, with bridges that dropped onto fortifications, creating instant access, bypassing gates, bypassing walls, direct assault into city heart. "Syracuse will fall by sunset," Marcellus told officers. "Sambucae will deliver 500 men directly onto walls. Once foothold established, resistance collapses. Standard procedure." Officers agreed. They had seen this before, many times. City walls meant nothing against Roman engineering. Height advantage neutralized by taller towers. Distance eliminated by mobile bridges. Defenders became targets. Attackers became occupiers. As fleet closed distance, soldiers checked equipment. Gladius sharp, shield secure, armor adjusted, professional, mechanical, ready to kill, ready to win. But something felt different this time. Walls were too quiet, no defenders visible, no arrows flying, no shouting, just silence. Strange silence, unsettling silence. "Where are they?" soldier muttered to comrade. "Hiding, cowards. When we land, they'll run." But older veteran was less certain. He had fought Greeks before. They were not cowards, were clever, tricky, creative. Silence might mean trap. Too late for caution now. Fleet was committed. Sambucae approaching walls. 100 meters, 50 meters, 30 meters. close enough to see individual stones in fortifications, close enough to hear waves against foundations, close enough to die. From walls, nothing, still silent, still empty. Maybe defenders really had fled. Maybe city would surrender. Maybe. Then, physics happened. From behind walls, massive wooden arms emerged, like giant hands, like claws of titans. They swung out over water, over approaching ships, moving with precision, with purpose, with calculations behind every motion. At end of each arm, iron hooks, chains, counterweights, mechanisms Romans did not understand, did not recognize, had never seen. "What are those?" shouted soldier, fear in voice. Fear was rare for Romans. Fear was weakness, but fear was appropriate now. Those were Archimedes' claws, and Romans were about to learn that leverage defeats mass, that geometry defeats muscle, that mind defeats force. First claw descended toward lead Sambuca, massive siege tower, 10 tons of wood and iron, 200 soldiers aboard, pride of Roman engineering. Claw hooked ship's prow, simple action, just hooking, nothing dramatic. Then mechanism engaged, counterweight dropped, lever activated, physics took over. Ship lurched, bow rising, 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 impossible. 10 tons lifting like a toy, water streaming from hull, soldiers screaming, falling, sliding down deck toward the stern, equipment clattering, tower creaking, structure failing. Then claw released ship, from height into the water, impact shattered hull, tower collapsed, men thrown into the sea, armor dragging them down, drowning in sight of shore. Other claws engaged other ships, same result, same physics, same mathematics. Romans learned what Archimedes knew. Give me lever long enough, fulcrum strong enough, and I move world, or destroy it.
Roman engineering was practical, brutal, effective, built on centuries of experience, tested in 100 campaigns, proven through countless victories. Sambuca represented peak of this tradition, not elegant, not beautiful, just functional, deadly functional. Concept was simple. Lash 2 warships together, side by side, parallel, create stable platform, wider than single ship, less rocking, more secure. Then erect a tower on this platform, tall tower, taller than enemy walls, with ladder inside, with bridge at top that drops onto fortifications. Design solved fundamental siege problem, how to get soldiers over walls without building earthen ramps. Ramps took weeks, required massive labor, vulnerable to sallies. Sambuca were mobile, quick to deploy, could approach from water where defenders least expected. Romans had used them before, against Carthaginian ports, against Greek coastal cities, always successful, always effective. Height advantage was everything in siege warfare. He who held high ground dictated battle. Marcellus had ordered construction of 12 Sambucae. Each required 2 galleys, 24 ships total committed to this approach. Each Sambuca could carry 50 soldiers. 600 men total would hit walls simultaneously. Overwhelming force, impossible to defend against. At least, that was theory.
Construction had taken weeks. Shipwrights lashing hulls together, measuring, calculating, ensuring stability. Carpenters building towers, 40 feet tall, 50 feet, 60 feet, higher than Syracuse's walls. Soldiers would look down on defenders, psychological advantage plus tactical advantage. "Will they hold in water?" engineer had asked during construction.
Ships are stable when lashed together, shipwright assured. Weight distributed, tower base wide, physics sound. But that was Roman physics, Earth physics, human physics. What approached Syracuse was different physics, Archimedes physics, mathematical physics, physics that obeyed different rules, or rather, deeper rules, rules Romans did not understand. As Sambucae approached walls, soldiers aboard felt confident. Height advantage obvious. They stood 60 feet above water, 50 feet above wall tops, looking down at city, looking down at defenders, superiority visible, victory certain. When bridge drops, Centurion instructed, first rank charges immediately, second rank follows, no hesitation, speed is survival. Fast assault breaks defense. This was doctrine. Romans knew psychological moment was critical. Defenders shocked by sudden bridge. Attackers must exploit that shock instantly. Charge before defenders recover, before they organize, before they realize what happened. Soldiers gripped weapons, ready, prepared. Sambucae were 30 meters from walls, 25 meters, 20 meters. Optimal distance approaching. Bridge would deploy at 15 meters, close enough to reach walls, far enough to avoid hand-thrown objects.
15 meters. Bridge mechanism engaged. Heavy wooden span began extending, creaking, groaning, reaching toward walls, toward victory, toward... Then they saw them, behind walls, rising from concealment. Wooden arms, massive, hinged, swinging upward, outward, toward Sambucae, toward ships, toward soldiers who suddenly realized height advantage meant nothing. Not just claws, different mechanism, cranes. Archimedes had built defensive cranes, multiple cranes, positioned at intervals along walls, each with different function. Some had claws for hooking, others had different endings, stone baskets, iron weights, grapples. First crane engaged lead Sambuca, not at prow, at tower base. Hook caught lower structure, below waterline, where tower met platform, structural weak point. Crane operator, trained by Archimedes himself, activated mechanism, not sudden, controlled, calculating, pulling, testing resistance, finding limit. Then pulled harder. Counterweight dropped, full leverage applied. Tower tilted, slight at first. Soldiers noticed, compensated, shifted weight, but tilt increased. Physics was patient, relentless, inevitable. Tower leaned, 10 degrees, 20 degrees, 30 degrees, soldiers sliding, grabbing anything, rails, ladders, each other, equipment falling, shields clattering down, weapons tumbling, men screaming. At 45 degrees, tower's center of gravity passed tipping point. Structure became unstable. Weight fought against lashings. Wood groaned. Rope strained. Something had to give. Lashings gave. Tower separated from platform. Fell, not into water, sideways, across second Sambuca, crushing tower there too. Domino effect. 2 towers destroyed by one mechanism. 100 soldiers into water, some dead from impact, others drowning from armor weight, few swimming, fewer surviving. Other cranes attacked other Sambucae, different techniques. Some pulled from side, creating lateral stress, capsizing ships. Others lifted prows, tilting towers backward, spilling soldiers into stern, creating chaos, destroying organization, turning advantage into disaster. One crane grabbed tower directly, not ship, tower itself, lifted, actually lifted tower off ship, soldiers clinging to structure, hanging, falling. Tower rose, 30 feet above water, 40 feet, then crane released. Tower dropped, impact shattered it.
splinters, bodies, wreckage. Romans below watched in horror. This was not battle, was execution, was demonstration, was proof that their engineering was child's play compared to what Archimedes created. "Retreat!" Marcellus ordered, voice hoarse, shocked. "All ships back! Maximum distance!" Fleet pulled away, fast, rowing desperately. Distance creating safety, but damage was done. 12 Sambucae deployed, 3 destroyed, 5 damaged, 4 retreating intact. 300 soldiers lost, drowned, crushed, killed by wooden arms operated by a handful of Greek engineers.
Marcellus stood on command deck, silent, processing, trying to understand. Romans built those towers, best engineers, best materials, best design. How did Greeks destroy them so easily? Tribune approached, hesitant. "Sir, what were those machines?" "Cranes," Marcellus said quietly, "but not ordinary cranes. Those had precision, leverage, purpose. Someone designed them, someone brilliant. Should we attack again? Different approach?" Marcellus looked at walls, at those wooden arms now retracting, disappearing behind fortifications, waiting, patient, calculated. "No, not from sea, not with Sambucae. Whoever built those machines understands leverage better than we understand force. We need different strategy." This was rare moment. A Roman commander admitting Roman method failed. Engineering defeated by engineering. Force defeated by physics. Muscle defeated by mind. But Marcellus was experienced commander, professional, adaptable. He would not repeat mistake, would not waste men against superior defense, would find weakness. Romans always found weakness, eventually. "Send word to land commanders," he ordered. "Prepare siege towers, rams, standard ground assault. If walls resist sea attack, we take them from land." Tribune nodded. Ground assault made sense, traditional, proven. Romans excelled at ground siege, had perfected it through generations. Walls always fell eventually, just matter of time, persistence, grinding pressure. But as the fleet retreated, soldiers looked back at walls, at silent fortifications, at a city that just humiliated Rome's navy. And some wondered, if Greeks had such machines at sea, what did they have on land? Answer was coming, soon. Romans would learn that Archimedes' mind was not limited to one element, did not just understand water, understood earth, air, trajectory, velocity, acceleration, understood physics completely, and physics had no mercy. Inside Syracuse, Archimedes watched from the wall, emotionless. Romans retreating was not victory, was delay. Romans would return. Different approach, different tactics. He knew this, expected this, had planned for this. "They'll attack from land next," he told his assistants. Young engineers, students, men he trained to operate his machines. "Are we ready?" one asked. "We are ready. Land machines are prepared. Calculations complete. When Romans approach, they will learn that distance is not safety, that walls project force, that geometry kills." He turned from wall, back to workshop. More designs to complete, more machines to build, more calculations to verify. War was a marathon, not a sprint. Romans were patient. He must be more patient.
Romans were persistent. He must be more persistent. Romans had numbers. He had mathematics. And mathematics, properly applied, multiplied force infinitely. Romans had muscle. Archimedes had mind. Battle was just beginning.
Romans regrouped, reorganized, re-strategized. Naval assault failed. Land assault would succeed, must succeed. Rome did not accept defeat, did not tolerate failure, did not retreat permanently. Marcellus ordered ground siege preparation, traditional approach, proven approach. Build siege towers on land, roll them to walls, drop bridges, storm ramparts. Simple, effective, unstoppable. Engineers constructed towers, massive, 6 stories tall, wheels underneath, pushed by hundreds of men, protected by hide-covered frames, fireproofed with vinegar-soaked leather. Everything Romans learned through centuries of siege warfare, nothing left to chance. Meanwhile, ships would support from harbor, not approaching walls, staying at safe distance, using catapults, bombarding defenses, creating distraction, forcing defenders to split attention between land and sea threats. This will work, Marcellus told officers. Greeks surprised us once, won't happen again. We adapt, we overcome, we are Rome. Dawn came, assault began. Siege towers rolled forward, slowly, ponderously, earthquake on wheels, dust rising, ground shaking. Romans inside, waiting, ready, determined. From walls, silence, again, same unsettling quiet. No defenders visible, no resistance, nothing. They're hiding, a soldier muttered, waiting until we're close. Towers approached, 100 meters from walls, 75 meters, 50 meters, still nothing from city. Maybe defenses were exhausted? Maybe yesterday's machines were all Syracuse had? Maybe.
Then walls came alive, not with soldiers, with mechanisms. Wooden arms swinging out. Not cranes this time, different design, lower, faster, more aggressive. These were claws, Archimedes' famous invention, leverage weapons. Simple concept, devastating execution. Each claw consisted of heavy wooden arm, hinged at base. Behind walls, invisible until activated. Arms swung out, extended over walls, over approaching enemies. At end, iron hook, chain attached, counterweight behind. First claw descended toward lead tower. Hook caught top structure, upper platform where soldiers waited. Simple catch, clean hook, then counterweight activated. Tower lurched, not tilting, lifting. Front wheels left ground, rising. Physics in action. Lever multiplying force. Small counterweight lifting massive tower. Soldiers inside thrown off balance, falling, screaming. Tower rose higher, 45-degree angle, 60 degrees, nearly vertical, impossible angle. Wheels spinning in air, structure groaning, wood splintering, men tumbling from platforms, falling, dying. Then the claw released. Tower crashed, backward, onto soldiers pushing it, crushing them, killing dozens, destroying Rome's advantage, turning strength into weakness.
Other claws attacked other towers. Same technique, same physics, same results. Hooks caught, counterweights dropped, towers lifted, released, crashed. Roman engineering defeated by Greek mathematics. "Back! Everyone back!" centurions shouting. "Retreat! Full retreat!" Soldiers fled, professionals running, discipline breaking, fear replacing confidence. These were not enemies they could fight, not soldiers, not weapons, just wooden arms, mechanical, relentless, unstoppable. From harbor, Roman ships watched, horror replacing aggression, their catapults useless, their rams irrelevant, their numbers meaningless, because they fought not army, fought mind. mind that understood leverage, that weaponized physics, that made geometry lethal. Marcellus watched his assault collapse, watched expensive siege towers destroyed, watched centuries of Roman doctrine made obsolete by wooden arms, by iron hooks, by calculations. "Who is doing this?" he demanded. "Who builds such machines?" Local informant provided answer. Archimedes, old mathematician, lives in Syracuse, king's friend, inventor. One man? One man designed them, others build, others operate, but design is his, mind is his. Marcellus understood then, faced not city, faced genius, individual, singular, irreplaceable, man who thought differently, who saw warfare not as a clash of arms, but as a problem, mathematical problem, solvable through physics, through engineering, through pure thought.
"Can we kill him?" Marcellus asked quietly. "He rarely leaves workshop, protected, valued. Syracuse knows his worth." Marcellus nodded. Of course, city would protect such asset, such advantage, such mind. Romans retreated beyond claw range, setting camp, preparing for long siege. If walls could not be taken by assault, would be taken by starvation. Time was weapon too. Romans had plenty. Greeks had limited food. Eventually, hunger would win what force could not. But Marcellus knew every day Syracuse held was Roman humiliation, proof that smaller force with superior mind could defeat larger force with superior numbers. For first time in campaign, Roman commander felt uncertain, not about eventual victory, that remained inevitable, but about cost, about casualties, about reputation. Because word would spread, Rome's unstoppable legions stopped. By old man, by mathematics, by physics, humiliation was beginning, and it would get worse.
Romans learned to fear wooden arms, learned to respect invisible mathematics, learned to keep distance, safe distance, beyond claw reach, beyond leverage range. But distance created new problem, could not assault walls from far away, could not apply pressure, could not force surrender. Stalemate, unacceptable stalemate. Marcellus needed solution. We bombard from distance, he decided. Catapults, artillery, beyond their mechanism reach. We destroy walls, then assault. Made sense. Roman catapults had range, power, accuracy. Against static target like walls, they were devastating. Simple mathematics. Repeat bombardment. Walls crack, walls fall, victory follows. Engineers positioned catapults carefully, measuring distance, calculating angles. Roman engineering was sophisticated, not Archimedes level, but competent, professional. They knew trajectory formulas, understood range limitations, planned accordingly. Catapults deployed at 300 meters, safe distance, beyond claw reach, beyond any defensive mechanism they had seen. From here, they would rain stones on Syracuse, systematically, relentlessly, until defenses crumbled. Begin bombardment, Marcellus ordered. First catapult fired, stone arcing through air, beautiful parabola, gravity and velocity dancing, headed toward wall, impact imminent. Romans watched, waiting for satisfying crash, for proof that Roman method still worked. Stone never reached wall, disappeared mid-flight, not destroyed, just vanished into city, behind walls. Where? How?
Second catapult fired, same result. Stone disappeared. Third, fourth, fifth, all disappearing. Not hitting walls, falling short, falling inside, impossible to tell. Then Romans understood. Stones were falling inside city, yes, but not randomly, not accidentally, purposefully, precisely, into designated areas, empty areas, areas cleared of civilians, areas prepared to receive bombardments safely. Someone had calculated Roman catapult range, predicted trajectory, prepared accordingly. Someone knew exactly where each stone would land before Romans fired, before stones left machines. Mathematics predicted everything. Archimedes, Marcellus whispered, he calculated our range. But worse was coming. From Syracuse walls, different catapults appeared. Greek catapults, smaller, lighter, different design, not copying Roman style, improving it, refining it, weaponizing it through mathematics. These catapults fired, not at Roman catapults, too far, out of range, instead at Roman soldiers, gathered soldiers, concentrated formations, predictable positions. Stones flew, not massive boulders, smaller rocks, 50 pounds, 75 pounds, manageable size, but many of them, dozens, hundreds, raining down, and every stone landed precisely in formation centers where men clustered, where casualties maximized, not random bombardment, calculated slaughter.
Romans scattered, breaking formations, running, seeking cover, but stones followed. Trajectories adjusted, angles changed. Someone was observing, calculating, correcting. Real-time mathematics, applied physics, weaponized geometry. How are they doing this? Centurion screamed. They can't see us from walls. But they could. Archimedes had positioned observers on high points, signaling to catapult crews, providing corrections, adjusting aim, turning artillery into precision instrument. More stones, closer groupings, tighter patterns. Some catapults fired heavy rocks at distant targets, others fired smaller stones at closer targets. Different ammunition for different ranges, optimized, calculated, perfect. Romans lost 200 men in first hour, not to soldiers, to stones, to mathematics, to a man they never saw, never fought, never touched. "Pull back," Marcellus ordered, "beyond artillery range." But what was that range? They had retreated from 300 meters, stones still reached them, retreated to 400 meters, still dying, 500 meters, still targeted, finally stopped at 600 meters. There, finally, beyond range, finally safe. But useless distance, could not assault from here, could not bombard, could not do anything except exist, survive, wait.
Siege was supposed to be Roman strength. Romans perfected siege warfare, had techniques, equipment, experience. But here, sieged army was besieging city, trapped outside walls while defenders struck freely. Impossible situation, humiliating situation. Marcellus stared at Syracuse, at walls that killed without soldiers, at city defended by invisible mind, by calculations, by physics. "How do we fight this?" he asked, not expecting answer, just voicing frustration, desperation. Because Romans were learning, mind defeats muscle, mathematics defeats courage, physics defeats discipline. One genius thinking clearly defeats 1,000 soldiers fighting bravely, and they had not even seen Archimedes' full arsenal yet.
Romans stayed distant, beyond catapult range, beyond claw reach, beyond stone trajectory, safe, impotent, frustrated. But Marcellus was not finished. Naval assault failed. Land assault failed, artillery bombardment failed.
One option remained: direct assault by sea. Not with sambuke, with regular warships. Fast approach, beach ships, storm walls from multiple points, overwhelm defenses through speed and numbers. We attack at noon, Marcellus decided. Sun will be high, defenders blinded by glare. We'll have advantage. Made sense. Practical thinking. Sun in defenders' eyes, Romans attacking from shadow, visual advantage, tactical edge. Fleet prepared. 100 warships, 10,000 marines, simultaneous assault. Too many targets. Claws could not catch all ships. Some would reach shore, establish foothold. Victory would follow. Noon approached. Sun directly overhead. Perfect timing. Ships rowed toward Syracuse. Formation tight. Speed building. Final approach beginning. From walls, stillness. No claws emerging. No catapults firing. Nothing. Maybe Greeks were truly blind from sun. Maybe plan working. Then light changed. Not dimmed. Intensified. Impossibly. Sun's glare multiplied. Reflected. Concentrated. Aimed. From behind walls, bronze shields emerged. Hundreds. Polished. Mirror bright. Angled precisely. Each held by operator. Each positioned exactly, creating wall of reflected light.
Archimedes had calculated it. Sun angle, reflection angle, focal point, where beams converged, where light concentrated, where temperature rose. Reflected sunlight hit Roman fleet, not scattered, focused, like magnifying glass burning ants, but larger scale, deadly scale. First ship's sail smoked, fabric heating, then igniting, fire spreading, sailors panicking, trying to extinguish, but fire grew, fed by wind, by dry cloth, by pitch coating. Other ships, same result, reflected light finding sails, finding wooden decks, finding pitch-sealed joints, everything flammable, everything igniting, fleet burning. But worse was light's effect on men. Concentrated reflection blinded, literally. Romans looked toward walls, tried to see enemy, instead saw blazing light, searing brightness, eyes watering, vision whitening, temporary blindness, some permanent. "I can't see," soldiers screamed. "Gods help me, I'm blind." Others covering eyes, stumbling, falling, ships colliding, organization dissolving, discipline broken by physics, by optics, by weaponized sunlight. "Retreat! All ships retreat!" Marcellus commanded. Again, always retreating, never advancing. Romans did not retreat, but here, no choice. Fleet pulled back, blind, burning, broken. Some ships lost completely, consumed by fire. Crews jumping into the water, swimming, drowning, dying because old man understood light refraction. Marcellus watched from command ship, his own eyes hurt from the glare, his own vision spotted, his own confidence shattered. "This is not war," he said quietly. "This is sorcery."
"No, sir," said a more educated tribune. "This is science, optics. That mathematician understands how light behaves, uses it, weaponizes it." "How do we counter it?" "We don't. We can't. Not without equal understanding. We're soldiers. He's genius. Different battles, different weapons." Marcellus understood truth then. Could not defeat Archimedes through force, through courage, through Roman traditional advantages, because Archimedes fought on a different plane, where muscle meant nothing, where numbers were irrelevant, where only mind mattered. Then we wait, Marcellus decided. Surround city, cut supplies, starve them. Time defeats everything, even genius. But waiting was admission, confession. Rome's greatest general could not take small city because one old man thought better, calculated faster, understood deeper. Humiliation was complete, and worse still, Romans now feared walls, feared mechanisms they could not see, feared mind they could not fight, feared mathematics they could not understand. Psychological victory was Archimedes. Romans were broken, not bodies, spirits, confidence destroyed, pride shattered, invincibility questioned. One man, 70 years old, never held sword, never wore armor, never led soldiers, but defeated Rome through pure thought, through applied mathematics, through weaponized physics. And siege had only begun.
Months passed. Romans camped outside Syracuse, waiting, watching, starving the city slowly. Standard siege procedure. Boring, safe, effective, eventually. But something changed in the Roman army, something psychological, subtle, devastating. Soldiers stopped sleeping well, jumped at sounds, watched walls constantly, nervously, fearfully. Not normal fear, healthy combat fear, different fear, irrational fear, paralyzing fear. "What's wrong with men?" Marcellus asked Centurion. "They're terrified, sir, of walls, of machines, of that mathematician." "We're not even fighting. We're besieging, safely distant." "Doesn't matter. They've seen what those machines do. They imagine more, worse, unknown mechanisms, invisible threats." This was Archimedes' greatest weapon. Not claws, not catapults, not burning mirrors. Fear. Psychological warfare through superior intellect. Romans could not predict his next innovation, could not understand his capabilities, could not rationalize his genius, so they feared everything. Any movement on walls triggered panic. Rope hanging over rampart, new machine. Wooden beam protruding, trap. Shadow shifting, mechanism preparing. One incident crystallized this terror. Roman patrol approached walls at night. Reconnaissance, checking defenses, routine operation. From walls, single wooden pole extended. Just pole. No mechanism, no hook, no threat. Just wood. Patrol saw it, panicked. New weapon, retreat, retreat. Ran, full sprint, away from harmless pole, away from invisible threat, away from imagined death. Centurion tried stopping them. "It's just wood, just a pole." "Today it's pole," soldier screamed. "Tomorrow it's claw, or catapult, or fire. Who knows what that demon invented?" Demon, they called him now. Not mathematician, not engineer. Demon, sorcerer, inhuman intelligence that violated natural laws, that made impossible possible, that turned thinking into weapon. Marcellus understood. Morale was breaking. Not from combat, from anticipation, from unknown, from fighting enemy they could not comprehend. Soldiers trained to fight men, not minds, not mathematics, not genius. "We need to kill Archimedes," Marcellus told War Council. "While he lives, our men are defeated, not physically, psychologically, and psychological defeat becomes physical defeat." How? He never leaves city, never exposes himself, works in workshop, surrounded by guards, protected.
Then we wait for opportunity. When city falls, and it will fall, Archimedes must die. No capture, no ransom, death. Remove the mind, remove the threat. This was recognition, admission, Rome's greatest general acknowledging one man's intellectual superiority, acknowledging that genius was weapon, perhaps greatest weapon, more dangerous than any army. Inside Syracuse, Archimedes was unaware.
did not care about Roman fear, did not think about psychological warfare, just worked, calculated, designed, new machines, better mechanisms, more efficient defenses. "Master," assistant said, "Romans are terrified. They fear you more than our soldiers." Archimedes looked up from diagrams, surprised. "Fear? Why fear mathematics is irrational." "Because they don't understand it. Unknown creates fear." "Then they should study, learn. Understanding eliminates fear." Assistant smiled. Master did not understand humans. Understood physics perfectly, geometry completely, leverage absolutely. But psychology, human nature, missed him entirely.
Which was ironic, because his greatest weapon was psychological. His genius created terror more effective than any sword. His mind defeated Roman courage more thoroughly than any army. But he worked on, oblivious, not trying to frighten, just trying to protect city, through science, through mathematics, through applied intelligence. Meanwhile, Romans waited, suffered, feared. Months became years, 2 years. Siege continued, supplies dwindled, both sides weakening, but Romans weakening psychologically faster than Greeks weakening physically. Because hunger was predictable, understandable, rational, but Archimedes, incomprehensible, unpredictable, irrational genius that violated Roman understanding of warfare. And when comprehension fails, fear fills void. Romans were drowning in that void, drowning in fear of invisible mind, of weaponized mathematics, of one old man who refused to die. Waiting for opportunity, for mistake, for opening, for end of genius who stopped Rome.
2 years. Syracuse held. Romans waited. Stalemate. Unthinkable stalemate. Rome's reputation bleeding. Every month city survived was Roman humiliation. Proof that one genius mattered more than 1,000 soldiers. But time was weapon for both sides. Romans had supplies. Syracuse did not. Blockade was working, slowly, painfully, inevitably. Inside city, food reserves depleted. Rationing became severe. Hunger gnawed. Morale weakened. People suffered. Soldiers weakened. Defenses thinned. But Archimedes' machines still worked, still protected, still killed. Mathematics did not hunger. Physics did not tire. Mechanisms functioned regardless of operator's stomach. Then opportunity came, not through Roman brilliance, through Greek carelessness. Syracuse celebrated festival, Artemis, goddess, religious obligation, important culturally. City decided to proceed despite siege, maintain normalcy, show defiance, celebrate. Wine flowed, food was shared, precious food wastefully consumed, music played, dancing, laughter, joy, temporary joy, forgetting siege, forgetting Romans, forgetting danger. Defenses relaxed, guards drank, sentries abandoned posts, walls were empty, gates were loose, discipline dissolved in wine and celebration.
Roman scout noticed. During negotiations, there were periodic truces, diplomatic contacts. He observed walls, counted stones, measured height, calculated. Not warrior, mathematician, Roman mathematician. Inferior to Archimedes, but competent, professional. He did what Archimedes would do. Observed, measured, calculated. Wall is scalable, he reported to Marcellus. Height is 25 feet at northern section. We have ladders. Men can climb. If guards are absent, and during festival they will be, we can enter. Marcellus listened, carefully. This was not brilliant strategy, was observation, calculation, using enemies' methods against them, thinking instead of fighting. When is festival? 3 days, night celebration. Guards will be drunk, walls will be empty. Prepare assault, silent approach, ladders, small force initially, 500 men. If they gain foothold, main force follows. We take city before defenders realize. This was not Roman glory, was sneaking, exploiting weakness, unglamorous but effective. And Marcellus was tired of glory, wanted victory, any victory, by any means. Festival night came. Syracuse celebrated, oblivious, confident, protected by Archimedes' genius. Walls were defended by mechanisms, not men. Mechanisms were enough, always had been.
But mechanisms needed operators. Operators were drunk, or absent, or sleeping. Mathematics did not operate itself. Physics required human hands. Genius required discipline, and discipline was absent tonight. Romans approached, silent, dark, professional, carrying ladders, wearing minimal armor. Quiet approach, assassin approach, not legion approach. Reached walls, placed ladders, climbed. No resistance, no guards, no alarms, just empty ramparts, abandoned defenses, vulnerability created by celebration. First 500 Romans entered, then 1,000, then 5,000, pouring through gaps, through gates opened from inside, through walls scaled without opposition. By time Syracuse realized Romans controlled northern quarter, fighting started, brutal, close, desperate, but Romans had position, had numbers, had momentum. City was falling, not to genius, not to strategy, to carelessness, to wine, to festival, to human weakness that mathematics could not prevent. Archimedes was in workshop, unaware, working on new design, new mechanism, irrelevant mechanism now, because city was lost, defense was broken, Romans were inside. Assistant heard fighting, distant, growing closer. Master, Romans are in city, we must flee. Archimedes did not look up. Impossible, walls are defended, mechanisms are active.
Mechanisms need operators. Operators are drunk. Walls are empty. Romans climbed over. Still Archimedes did not move, did not comprehend. How could perfect defense fail? Mathematics was flawless. Physics was absolute. Genius was unbeatable. Except genius required human execution, and humans failed. Not Archimedes, others, guards, operators, leaders who allowed festival during siege, human weakness defeating mathematical perfection. Master, we must go, now, they're killing everyone. Archimedes finally looked up, heard screaming, smelled smoke, understood. His defense was perfect, but defenders were not. Machines were flawless, but operators failed. Victory required both, genius and discipline, mind and execution. He provided mind, others failed execution. City was lost, and with it his life, because Romans were coming, and they wanted him dead.
Syracuse burned. Romans poured through streets, killing, looting, destroying. Standard procedure after long siege. Vengeance for 2 years of humiliation, for losses, for fear, for psychological torture. Marcellus had given orders. Archimedes must be captured alive. Bring him to me, unharmed. He is valuable. Rome needs his mind. But orders meant little in chaos. Soldiers were angry, traumatized. They had feared invisible enemy for 2 years. Now they wanted blood, revenge, closure. Roman soldier, young, illiterate, brutalized by campaign, kicked open workshop door, saw old man, hunched, thin, working, oblivious to chaos outside, drawing in sand, circles, lines, geometric shapes. "You," soldier barked, "come with me, General's orders." Archimedes did not look up, did not acknowledge, was deep in problem, proof, calculation, something about sphere volume. Almost had it, almost understood, just needed few more lines, few more calculations. "Old man, I said move."
Still nothing. Hand drawing, mind calculating. Wars were temporary, theorems were eternal. This proof mattered more than soldier, more than invasion, more than death. Soldier was not philosopher, did not understand mathematics, did not respect genius, saw only disobedience, disrespect, old man ignoring Roman authority. "I warned you," soldier muttered, drew gladius, approached. Archimedes finally noticed, looked up, saw soldier, saw sword, understood danger, but not for himself, for work, for diagrams, for proof almost complete. "Wait," Archimedes said, not pleading, commanding, "don't disturb my circles." Latin translation was unclear. Soldier heard defiance, heard refusal, heard old man telling Roman soldier what to do. "Your circles?" Soldier laughed, bitter laugh. "Your circles killed my friends, your machines drowned my brothers, your genius humiliated my legion." Stepped forward, boots crushing sand, destroying diagrams, erasing circles, obliterating proof. "No!" Archimedes reached out, not defensive, protective, trying to preserve work, trying to save mathematics, not caring about life, caring about knowledge.
Soldier saw a reaching hand as attack, responded instinctively. Training took over. Gladius thrust, clean, professional, efficient. Blade entered chest, pierced heart. Archimedes gasped, not from pain, from understanding, from realization, from comprehension that proof would remain incomplete, that question would stay unanswered, that mathematics would lose. Fell, blood spreading, mixing with sand, with circles, with unfinished work. Genius dying on diagrams, mind stopping mid-calculation, eternal questions left unanswered. Soldier pulled blade, wiped it, walked away. Just another casualty, another dead Greek, another civilian killed in victory's chaos. Later, Marcellus arrived, saw a body, saw circles in sand, saw blood mixing with geometry, understood what happened, who died, what was lost. "You fool," he told soldier quietly. "You killed the one man I wanted alive. You destroyed Rome's greatest prize." Soldier was confused. Just old man drawing in dirt. That old man defeated Roman legions for 2 years, alone, with thinking, with mathematics, with genius we cannot replace. We captured city, but lost mind that defended it. Marcellus looked at diagrams, could not understand them, could not read geometric language, could not comprehend what Archimedes was proving, but recognized brilliance, recognized loss. "Bury him with honors," Marcellus ordered, "as philosopher, as worthy enemy, as genius who humbled Rome."
And Archimedes was buried, but legacy survived. Machines were studied, diagrams were copied, methods were learned. Romans were practical, learned from enemies, integrated superior knowledge. But they never produced another Archimedes, because genius cannot be taught, cannot be copied, cannot be replicated through discipline or training. Rome conquered through muscle, through organization, through persistence. These could be learned, passed on, institutionalized. But Archimedes conquered through mind, through insight, through singular brilliance. This died with him, could not be transferred, could not be inherited. History remembered both, Rome for conquering world, Archimedes for stopping Rome, for proving mind defeats muscle, for showing one genius matters more than 1,000 soldiers. Circles in sand washed away, blood absorbed, diagrams erased, but lesson remained, eternal, unchanging, true across millennia. Intelligence is power, knowledge is weapon, mind is might, and sometimes one brilliant thinker changes world more than entire empire. Rome won battle, Archimedes won immortality. Sword killed man, but could not kill ideas, could not erase mathematics, could not destroy legacy. Because genius, once expressed, becomes eternal, outliving empires, outlasting swords, surviving everything except ignorance. And even ignorance eventually learns, eventually understands, eventually bows before brilliance. Archimedes died, but mathematics lived forever.